I've got a fairly interesting topic to start this segment off with, but I promise you, it'll all make sense in a moment. We're going to be talking about the popular animated show, The Simpsons. You see, recently, I've heard rumblings. Now, I liked The Simpsons growing up. You know, it was a staple of animation growing up. I think everyone has had a similar experience almost. And I think we can all agree that for the last 20 or so years, The Simpsons has been basically a shadow of its former self. Like a zombie, just kind of being propagated for the sake of, you know, having a consistent flow of positive ratings and, you know, at least livable ratings, I should say. Old Simpsons is extremely culturally relevant, much less so stuff that's come out the last 15 or so years. Now, considering that, I haven't watched much of any recent Simpsons in the last 15 years, or I should say I hadn't. Stay with me here. I had no interest in checking out modern Simpsons considering I'd heard so much negative stuff about it. I'd seen so much negative stuff when I would check in on it. I figured that The Simpsons would probably just decay a slow, painful death over time. But then a video came up in my recommended. A video that had a title that surprised me, especially with how high of a view count and positive of a response it had. The video was titled simply, The Simpsons is Good Again. My chair literally spins every time I take my hands off my desk. Okay. The video is called The Simpsons is Good Again, and since then, quite a few other videos have come out to essentially, like, repeat the same sentiment. Like, it's been a pretty popular sentiment in YouTube video essays as of late. Simply, The Simpsons is good again. The video is by Super Eye Patchwolf. It came out a month ago and has 1.2 million views. I'll go ahead and play just the intro of it to give you an idea of, like, what's up.
The year is 2003, and a teenage version of myself is lying on my parents' hardwood floor, and in horror, I have just thought something I have never thought while watching The Simpsons. That wasn't funny. This moment of devastating disillusionment came midway through season 15, episode 4, when, after getting off a flight to London, the Simpsons are greeted by British Prime Minister Tony Blair before he flies away on a jetpack. By modern Simpsons standards, it's a forgettable joke, but back then, it filled me with a, quite frankly, unreasonable level of rage. For any other TV show, this scene wouldn't have mattered, but this was The Simpsons. This was the most untouchable sitcom of all time. A show so impactful and iconic that even its tiny moments like a man disappearing into a hedge are to this day immortalized over and over. Golden Age Simpsons is as close as humanity has come to a perfect season of television. And with that level of hyperbole now in play, you can see how a limp, sanitized visual gag like Tony Blair flying on a jetpack caused an unreasonable level of emotion in a younger version of myself. However, I was not the only one having those moments. As The Simpsons shot past its 10th season, many of the people who'd made it great, including the original creator Matt Groening, left the show, leaving its staff of writers with an impossible task: live up to what The Simpsons had been. A fall so extreme it led to the era known as Zombie Simpsons. In time, what was now deemed Zombie Simpsons bloated to become the vast majority of the show. Even by the most generous standards, classic Simpsons ended around season 10, and from
So, I'd caved and watched this video upon request by YouTube. And so far, I'm following, right? Like, okay, cool. Like, as far as I'm aware, The Simpsons has kind of been a corpse dragging itself along for the last decade and a half, 2 decades pretty much. And at this point, I'm like, okay, so when are we going to get to the supposedly Simpsons is good again claims? Because, like, I'm not opposed to getting back into watching The Simpsons if it actually is good again. Like, absolutely, I would be down to get into it. I like The Simpsons. If it's actually good, I don't think it needs to end. Like, I don't think it's, like, being sort of artificially propagated if it's actually of high quality. So, let's hear what he has to say.
From there, the show
We're not watching this whole video, by the way, just the opening.
would limp on for another 25 years. I have spent
25
several
years.
decades and practically every major milestone of my life accepting that The Simpsons is bad, that it is an uncanny version of what it used to be, and what was so good about it is never coming back. So imagine my shock when, late last year, I began to hear a quiet but confident murmuring. The Simpsons is good again. It was subtle at first, a whispered recommendation at a con, the ping of a Discord message. A gentle but mounting enthusiasm that would soon explode when earlier this year, a Vulture article was published titled, The Simpsons is Good Again. For those of you saying I stole the title of this article for this video, I did. Please don't be too mean about it. The article looks at how the production of The Simpsons has changed, and how, at least according to the writer of this article, that has resulted in a dramatic increase in quality in the show's most recent seasons, season 33 and 34. But most interestingly to me is how the article states that these new episodes have been praised by everyone, from The Simpsons' original writers to even members of the Dead Homer Society, the blog that originally coined the term Zombie Simpsons. And so, I got curious.
So, this is where I'm going to cut off our reaction. I continued to watch the rest of the video, and he reviews a bunch of the episodes in season 33, I believe it was. And I was genuinely impressed with simply his retellings of what happens in those episodes. I was genuinely impressed. Like, the concepts alone sounded like they, dunked on the concepts that The Simpsons has dealt with for the last 25 years by a long shot. So I decided, I've got Disney Plus. Screw it. I'll watch the two newest seasons of The Simpsons, seasons 33 and 34, that everyone's saying are so good. Now, I've not watched season 34 yet, which I've heard is supposed to be better than season 33, but I've watched about half of season 33 so far. And I must concur. The Simpsons is fucking good again. And if I can put it into a few words, like as simply as possible, why it is so good right now, it is because they have heavily focused the storytelling for the episodes of these seasons on the characters. It is heavily character-focused storytelling, rather than let's take the Simpsons and put them in a funny modern situation. It's let's take this character and what we know about their character fundamentally and challenge it. Let's build an episode around the personality of a character and forcing that character's personality to interact with that concept. And oh my god, has it bred some of the best episodes of The Simpsons, I should say, in 25 years. Some of them, I would say, beat out some of the Golden Age era Simpsons episodes, but here's the key. They don't feel like old Simpsons. They don't feel like old Simpsons, like they're dredging up old nostalgia and trying to, like, recapture what made it so magical back in the day. It feels like they're doing something completely new, and it's great. And that's what I think is so special, is that it is an actual, earnest, genuine evolution of the show that has led to a very clear increase in quality. One of the most recent episodes is a two-parter that's about an hour long in total, called A Serious Flanders. I believe this actually won some awards. It's in season 33. And it kind of destroys the concept of Flandersization within The Simpsons entirely. It's about, let's just say it, oh fuck, I can't even describe it. It's so fucking good. It's just so fucking good. Let's just say there is a dangerous man who comes to Springfield who wants to collect on a debt that he considers Flanders owes him due to something his grandfather did, Flanders' grandfather did. And The episode opens with him saying, "There are no good men." And then it cuts to Ned Flanders. And the episodes are all about Ned, for the sake of trying to save people and do the right thing, being forced to do horrible things, from lying to kidnapping to stealing. I won't go on, but it is a genuinely fantastic character drama about Ned Flanders where his morals are challenged because he has to do bad things to save somebody. It's really good. And that's just one episode. That's just one episode. There's another one that deals with... Oh, I'm not even going to spoil it for you. I really enjoyed them. The episodes in season 33. I heard the episodes in season 34 are even better. I was absolutely impressed. I really, really was. And, yeah, just overall, people have been, at least in the animation community online that are tapped in, having a very positive response to The Simpsons the last couple years, especially the last 6 months or so. There's been a very positive feedback for The Simpsons online. So you watch from 30 onward. I would recommend you start with seasons 32 and 33. Or 33 and 34, sorry. People are saying the prior ones are good. I recommend you just start with season 33. That's seasons 33 and 34 are the ones that everybody is unanimously saying are fantastic. Start there. They're the two most recent seasons. Everyone's agreeing they're great. Start with season 33. I promise you. You'll be beyond impressed. I was glued to my fucking computer watching The Simpsons an entire fucking season over the course of an entire day. I couldn't stop binging because it was so good. We should watch party the recent seasons? Maybe. Here's the thing, though. There's a reason why I decided to talk about this. I didn't just want to make a whole segment about The Simpsons and, like, gush over how much I enjoyed the new episodes, because, admittedly, quite good. Quite good. I really, really enjoy what I saw. What I really want to talk about is the conservative drama-mongering happening right now about The Simpsons. So, something happened, okay? This person tweeted out, "What a crazy fucking week this has been. I tweeted a Simpsons clip that went viral and got the entire internet to talk about Homer strangling Bart, thinking that they're getting rid of it, until the producers and Matt Groening responded with a drawing that said otherwise. Crazy." So essentially, this one Twitter poster tweeted out, "I just found out that, after over 30 years, The Simpsons has finally retired their long-running gag of Homer strangling Bart. Took them long enough, Lamau." And then it's a link, or a little, like, video clip, and this went viral. And so shit tons of, like, media sites just start reporting that that's the case, just based off of nothing but this random person's tweet, because that's the era of media coverage that we exist in right now, with all the, like, Twitter clickbait and whatnot. You, of course, had tons of conservative content creators talking about how they went woke. Disney nerfs The Simpsons again. Homer can't choke Bart anymore. You had, like, less chuddy channels, obviously. I like Villisky Bum or whatever. But, you know, a lot of people just outright fell for it and had commentary about how this is The Simpsons sanitizing itself. And then you have the official Simpsons account respond with a drawing directly from Matt Groening, who works on the show again, by the way. That's part of why the show's been so good recently. The original creator is back working for it. Who just put this out. An image of Homer strangling Bart, saying, "Why, you little clickbaiting?" And Bart's holding the phone saying, "Simpsons, no more strangling." It was all fucking bullshit. It was all bullshit from the start. But guess who made an entire fucking video about this? The Simpsons gets woke again, and nobody even noticed. It starts with a really cringy skit, apparently, so... Yeah, literally, TheQuartering got pwned by the creator of The Simpsons. This is almost as good as when he got called out by, the guy who plays The Mandalorian. When he and Geeks and Gamers and those other dudes got called out by the guy who plays The Mandalorian. It was so fucking great.
Whoa, that's quite a grip.
See, Marge? Strangling the boy has paid off.
Just kidding. I don't do that anymore. Times have changed.
They literally lost it. Isn't it crazy how they got offended over a joke? Isn't it crazy how they got... It wasn't even real, and they got offended over a joke. That's fucking crazy. Apparently the Quartering is now grifting off of, like, giveaways. Like, console giveaways, it seems, and gift card giveaways. His views have been dropping a lot lately. It makes sense that he'd want to drive up viewership and engagement with a giveaway. That's what they... Like, that's why YouTubers do that, by the way. Like, when a YouTuber does a giveaway, like something like this, it's to drive up engagement, because the way you enter is by commenting, subscribing, and liking. And sometimes you can increase your chances of winning the giveaway by doing it on multiple videos. Listen, guys. Unless it's like a little thing, it's being done to drive up engagement.
It's been a lot of years since The Simpsons was any good.
Somebody hasn't been keeping up.
Maybe, I don't know, 20? The Simpsons absolutely hit its stride for...
The funny thing as well is he's kind of just relying on talking about the show based on what the internet's opinion of it was, like, last time he heard about it, which would have no doubt been, like, a couple years ago. He has not heard about the fact that The Simpsons is good again, and the animation community online is actually quite happy with it. So this video not only looks bad because he's completely wrong and is unironically operating on a false premise just to begin with. Literally, Matt Groening, the guy who created The Simpsons, has called him out. But, like, the people who would be watching it are going to respond to this and think, wait, no, The Simpsons is good again. Does he not know? Wait, does he not know The Simpsons has gotten good again?
Probably seasons 2 or 3 through 10. Many of us probably would argue that it lasted a little bit longer. But, you know, there's a great documentary about zombie Simpsons that I think is really good. However...
The same person who made that documentary is the one who made the documentary about how The Simpsons is good again. That's hilarious.
The other thing that we're seeing is that we have a resurgence. The last couple of seasons of The Simpsons have actually been pretty good. I'm currently rewatching them from the beginning, and, you know, ultimately...
Never mind. He knows.
There is, I think I'm on season 5 now, season 6, and there's a lot... there's a lot between now and season 35 where it is. But there's been several times over the years where The Simpsons have decided to go woke, so to speak. They had the whole thing with Lisa and Marge not that long ago, and, you know, all sorts of stuff like that. But...
Oh, for those that don't know what he's referencing, it's actually one of the fantastic episodes that have... I'm going to outright spoil this episode to give you an idea of how good season 33 is of The Simpsons. There is an episode where it starts out pretty simple. Like, it starts out off with almost a non sequitur thing, but it leads into the main plot of the episode well, I think. Homer wants to take the kids and Marge to his favorite, water park when he was a kid. They arrive, and it's long since been overhauled to be like a really overly safe, kiddie park, right? But part of the park that's overgrown still has one of the old, deadly, horrible slides left. So Lisa, Bart, and Homer sneak away, and they go down the slide. And Homer ends up being okay, but Bart and Lisa end up getting a viral infection or some kind of bacterial infection that makes them really fucking sick. And they have to take a steroid in order to fight the infection, which has a side effect for them of causing some weight gain. Now, Bart gains quite a bit of weight, gets a bit chubby, and when he goes to school and people comment on it, he talks it off as just being bulk, that he started working out and he's gone through puberty and he's getting big. And the bullies, like Nelson and the other bully kids, actually see him as cool and invite him to work out with them and, like, chill with them and everything. And he goes through a whole story arc that was sort of a B-plot. Lisa, on the other hand, she gains some pounds. And as she's walking out, and she doesn't really, like, notice it or care about it much, like, it doesn't really bother her, but as she's walking out the door for the first day of school, which they just make it the first day of school for this episode, I think it fits well, but, you know, The Simpsons has never dealt with time realistically. She starts walking down the stairs and to her mom, Marge, to get her lunch to walk out the door to the school bus. And her mom says, "Ooh, we're gonna have to go out and get you new school clothes. Someone's getting chunky." Simple as that. She doesn't say it in a mean or really degrading sounding way. She says it in like a cutesy way, but it sticks with Lisa. It's visualized as like the word entering her ears and sticking inside of her head. And for the rest of the day, she is constantly mulling that over, and it's destroying her inside. And she like starts getting really upset at Marge, and Marge doesn't understand why Lisa's upset. And there's like multiple instances where Marge tries to compliment Lisa by buying her like a new outfit. And she's like, look how pretty you'll look in this. And Lisa just goes and cries, right? And at the end of the episode, through means, Lisa and Marge are able to enter Lisa's head and see the effect that Marge's words had on her. And, you know, Marge is able to see what a negative effect it had and swears to make things better. And they do. You know, she apologized, and they have a very, very sentimental heart-to-heart. It's such a good episode. And then they go into Marge's head, and they see a memory from when Marge was Lisa's age, back when she was just a carefree little kid, and she didn't care about her appearance or what people thought of her looking pretty or meeting societal beauty standards, when her mom commented I forget what it was, but it was meant to be nice. Like, oh, you should wear this, it'll accentuate that or something. And from that moment, it changed Marge and made her upset, just like it made Lisa, but she'd totally forgotten about it. And they leave each other's minds, fully understanding each other. Like Marge now remembering that she'd gone through the same thing and had just normalized it and didn't realize that she was hurting her daughter the same way she'd been hurt as a kid by these like standards being imposed in even subconscious ways, and not realizing how much her own words could hurt her daughter. And Lisa was able to understand Marge's position a little bit. She wasn't trying to hurt Lisa. She was just trying to understand her, and they were able to come to that understanding. It was just such a heartfelt episode. No out of nowhere like crude jokes to ruin the moment. No like hyper disaffected, cynical like breaking of the moment things. Just the new seasons have just been extremely sentimental and honestly serious. The amount of jokes, like the amount of jokes in each episode has also dropped significantly, but the jokes that are in the episodes tend to land a lot harder, which is obviously a really good thing. So yeah, that's just like one example of a good episode, but the right called that woke and freaked out about it, which isn't surprising. Any episode that has to do with like body positivity and anything that has to do with body positivity for women. Body positivity for men is fine, but if it's body positivity for women, it is not allowed. And you'll get tons of dudes being like, "Oh, you're allowed to be fat, and yet I'm not. I can't get a girlfriend because I'm too short." Meh. Like that kind of shit. You guys know what I'm talking about. Like the people who are like, "Oh, you have standards for men's height, and yet women can be overweight, and it's sexist to hate that." Like, it's just the most like bizarre attempts at calling out women for being hypocritical for not dating them I've ever seen. But regardless, let's continue.
Now, we've got Homer will no longer choke Bart, as apparently times have changed in the most recent episode. Now, there was this clip.
Whoa, that's quite a grip.
See, Marge? Strangling the boy has paid off. Just kidding. I don't do that anymore. Times have changed.
Times have changed. I'm not sure they have. I mean, I don't think that any parent...
I'm not sure they have.
...has like said, hey, Homer Simpson did that. You know, Homer Simpson did that.
I literally not understanding that it's a joke. Literally incapable of understanding humor when it offends them. Literally offended by a joke.
So I can do that. So I'm going to do the same thing that Homer Simpson did. Removing this is kind of an iconic thing that happened on The Simpsons. Of course, left-wing media absolutely celebrated it. Homer Simpson has stopped strangling Bart in The Simpsons, and it's about time. Look at this guy in his low T.
Even these articles are wrong.
He's like
Look at this guy in his low T. Dude. Are you serious? All right. You asked for it. You can't be saying shit like that. So this is what TheQuartering said while reviewing a interview he did with Gina Carano, the canceled ex-Disney Mandalorian actress.
Gina and I could do an excellent on-screen romance where, like, I'm the best friend. I'm like her best friend, but I pine after her. And then she just keeps banging all these other dudes. And then I'm like all sad. And then she like realizes that I was me all along, and that she comes to, you know, and then she comes to realize it. And and then we live happily ever after. Like, I think we could do that. I mean, that's what I think. I just mean, like, I think it's there. She could just keep hooking up with fit dudes, MMA dudes, and then like they don't make her laugh, you know? They don't get her.
Yeah, he's really
And then
drunk
there's
here.
me. I'm just like, oh, hey Gina. Oh, you look tired. Did you bang another dude tonight? Oh, sweet. And then like my heart's breaking, you know?
How's his wife not left him yet? Oh, his wife is honestly
Gina and I
most
could do
likely... His wife is almost certainly cheating on him, for those that don't know. In the video where he pisses in his basement, TheQuartering pisses in his basement. In the video where he pisses in his basement, he talks about his wife being out to get pizza without him, and he's mad about it. This is required viewing for any time we cover TheQuartering.
You never know. You never know. Maybe I'm going to pee in my trash can down here. I don't know. My wife went out for pizza without me, and I'm angry about it. So I'm going to win this round, and I'm going to pee. If I don't win this round, I'm going to pee in my own basement.
Let's skip to when he goes and dies.
How
So
angry my bladder is.
He
You
keeps
guys don't
holding
know,
it.
it's going to explode. My bladder's going to blow.
I want it, Nevi.
Nobody's gonna
4256. I need to
eliminate
save it. It's one of the
Get
OG
up!
Classic WoW vanilla servers that was auctioned off.
Up! No!
You can listen really carefully. Or actually, I'm going to volume boost it so you can hear. I'm going to volume boost it so you guys can hear. You can hear the tinkle sound. Yeah, you can actually hear the tinkle. Like the sound that it makes when it hits, like, a solid surface. He pissed into his basement drain, apparently.
I've literally never lost that round.
So yeah, he's probably out, like, he's probably getting cucked, like, right there in that clip. He's, like, drunk as shit, his wife's out getting pizza without him, and he's mad about it. Like, and he's pissing in his basement. Yeah, his wife's definitely gonna leave him pretty soon. He's got a lot of money, so that's probably a big benefit. She probably wants to, like, divorce at a point where she... I think you have to be divorced for, like, 10... Or you have to be married for, like, 10 years in most states to then get divorced and be able to take half of your husband's shit. So it's possible they've only been, like, married for 8 or so years, and she's trying to get as many years in there as possible to guarantee she gets a large cut of everything he owns. That'd be so fucking awesome if he just got destroyed in fucking divorce court.
My low-T brother-in-law. Nothing lasts forever. In time, the continents will crash into each other. Once more, the sun will swallow the planet, and at some point, long after that, The Simpsons will end. But that isn't to say that it's incapable of moving forward with the times. Before, in yet another nod to shifting taste,
Okay, is he just gonna read the article that's based on a false premise?
of growing criticism. The Simpsons was Drake, Lou, and Dr. a white person. I don't know if it was Final Fantasy voice actor, an Asian guy who came out was like complaining that he only gets cast for Asian characters. It's like, well, you can't have it both ways, right? Everyone told us that it was bigoted and racist and homophobic or whatever these cases were to have these, you know, having Apu voiced by a white man. Well, that's what you get. You get what you whine for.
Know your place, minorities. Reminder, by the way, this all culminated in the most hilarious response ever. Like, the fact that this all culminated in the official account for The Simpsons tweeting out this image of Homer strangling Bart, saying, "Why you little clickbaiting?" with the phone, saying, "Simpsons no more strangling," saying Homer Simpson was unavailable for comment as he was busy strangling Bart as the caption. Notice, by the way, how this tweet got far less attention than the ones claiming that Simpsons was no longer doing the strangling thing anymore. The sad thing is, despite the increasing quality of the show and the fact that I do genuinely believe it deserves to see a rise in ratings as a reward for the increasing quality, I want to see it continue to move in the direction it has been. And despite the fact that the official Twitter account has come out to debunk this, many people are now going to believe The Simpsons has gone woke, and it's gotten even worse now. They make it so Homer doesn't strangle Bart because they've kneeled to the woke mob. And no one's going to actually see this tweet and see this image. No one's actually, like, a lot of people, not no one, but a lot of people aren't going to know that they were lied to by these future divorcee, grifting weirdos who make a lot of money off of trying to spread hate about popular pieces of media. If they can start a hate bandwagon about something, that is what they will do. Whether it's woke or not, they will find a reason to call it woke. Like, is it woke now to not abuse your children? Is that what wokeness is now? Not abusing your kids? They're the ones saying wokeness is bad, I guess. That's the self-report.